So, another new episode of AEW has come and gone, and, I figured, why not? Let's watch another episode. Let's do another review here on the channel, because people like when I talk about AEW, and plus I am genuinely interested to see where the show goes. I don't know how much longer I could keep it up. There are certain things that I like about this show, and I'm going to talk about them here, of course. And there's other things on the show that I don't like and think that they're exactly like WWE. And a lot of those points were definitely confirmed on this show. I thought, okay, maybe they're doing, a first-time mistake and everything like that. But I didn't think so, because I watched the highlights of the pay-per-views they put on, and I saw things, that were questionable. But here I watched the whole entire shows. And if you're asking yourself, why did I, watch these whole shows? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. And it's still the highlight for me. The commentary. Guys, it's been years since I've heard Tony Schiavone do a new show, just like everyone else. It is such a treat to see Tony Schiavone, to hear Tony Schiavone call wrestling once more. I mean, it is so much better than WWE. After listening to Vic Joseph call that Hell in a Cell match, it was like music to my ears, hearing Tony Schiavone and JR, two of the greatest commentators of all time. And as I said in the past, JR is my favorite commentator of all time. So, the commentary is just, it's so much better than anything going on. The only thing comparable is Mauro Ranallo on NXT, but I don't watch NXT. I can't stomach NXT. So, and plus JR and Tony Schiavone are better. So, that's more than I could ask for, so at least, but a show can't just be good on commentary alone, because it's about what they're calling, in the ring, and not just the matches necessarily, but the segments. So the show kicks off, and we get a video package of, Private Party and the Young Bucks, and, they're going to have a match here. This is in the tag title tournament. And this video just, it doesn't make either team seem interesting to me. Like, I know who the Young Bucks are. I've been watching them since their days in Impact, TNA, when they were Generation Me. Vince Russo gave these guys a platform. And, the thing is, these guys, they try to show personality, but I will never understand their level of popularity. I mean, it has a lot to do with their athleticism. They've got God-given talent. But aside from that, like, the way that Dave Meltzer swoons over these guys, and they even call it, JR calls it by name when they set up for the tombstone, the double team tombstone, the Meltzer driver. And speaking of moves, maybe a bit too many. And also another thing, they're talking about Private Party being an unknown team. I'm telling you that a lot of the people watching this show, the Young Bucks is also an unknown team. What is the deal with, just like on the first show, with them assuming that we know who these guys are? And I can't blame JR, and I can't blame Tony Schiavone, and I can't even blame Excalibur. Well, I don't even know why he's there. Like, guys, like, why do we need Excalibur, like, on this commentary team? Is it like, is he not out of place? He's sitting in between, sandwiched between two legends. I mean, you know what that's like? It's almost like having this amazing sandwich with, like, the best bread in the whole world. It's like bread imported from Italy, because, like, what's sitting here at the ends, and in the meat is, like, some disgusting, like, lunch meat, some disgusting cold cuts, like, I don't know, some foul cheese like Limburger or something like that. That's Excalibur. It's like a very disappointing middle right there. I don't know. Could you get anyone else like to sit in this commentary position? Like literally anyone else. Even if it's Mark Lloyd or someone like that. Like, you know who's a good commentator? Could they not get Bill DeMott? I don't know if anyone's ever heard him call Velocity. The guy was a good commentator. How about Kevin Kelly? I know he calls Ring of Honor, but I like Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly, someone needs to be a heel here, though. Someone needs to show at least some shades of gray. But I can't complain too much. But anyway, let's talk about the match. This match had way too many near falls. Way too many near falls. I am going, and being a bit too mild there. You had this big sliced bread number 2 off the top rope and an acai DDT type maneuver. And there's a kick out. There's a 450 splash. Kick out of that. All these big moves being hit. Kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out. You just said that they were unknowns. Now, I get it. You want to make it like the story, like, wow, these unknowns. Private Party. We should be impressed. But all these guys, like, how are they kicking out of all this? Like, they're not like Iron Men, like, that they can withstand all this punishment. All these high impact moves. And, and it just looks stupid. Like, at the beginning of the match, one of the guys from Private Party, the guy with the tails, he was wearing some, like, tuxedo type of outfit. He hits a suicide dive, messes that up, then hits a plancha, like, barely touches the guy. And then he, like, hits 2 more dives, and those look a lot better. But I'm like, how many dives is there gonna be? Like enough is enough already. Like, you did one move, you did another move. Like, remember when you get a nice high flying move, it was like a treat. They'd only pull out like here and there, and it was like something to behold, like Shawn Michaels busting out the moonsault to the outside. Now you like get one in every single match, and it's like, so I have to ask a question here. What is AEW doing here in this opening match that was like about 15, maybe 20 minutes long? I felt like, didn't they also cut things from this show? I thought like the card was bigger. I guess not. I felt like when they were doing the rundown at the beginning of the show, there was like more stuff on here. I don't know, but anyway, like, what are they doing different here? That's like so much different than what WWE is doing, for example. Like, honestly, I want to know, because like I see this on WWE television all the time. They're doing all these moves and stuff like that. Is it any different than what's going on anywhere else in the wrestling world? The answer to that question is no, if you're being honest with yourselves. And quite frankly, it looks ridiculous. Like, I've talked about this on a number of occasions. You would never see this anywhere else. A finisher, a big move was hit. That was the end of the match. There was no kicking out. It cheapens the moves. Did they not learn from, like, I know this is an excessive example, but look at Hell in a Cell. Remember the Bray Wyatt Seth Rollins match? How ridiculous it looks. Like, just going way too far, just doing too much in one match. But this is like, after a while, it just looks stupid. It does. And it might not be the level of stupid that was at Hell in a Cell, but it looks really, really dumb and far-fetched to have smaller guys kicking out of everything. You know what I mean? Like, come on already. Learn when to end a match. Enough with the Meltzer and Wade Keller stuff. The match has to be 20 minutes or it doesn't have enough time to tell a story, guys. You can tell a good story in 10 minutes. I've seen great 7 to 8 minute matches that were way better than this one. Just because you load every single move in the book, just because you do you do 100 moves in the match doesn't make it good. They're not even selling anything. You know, they're seeing which, I don't know which one is which, but one of the guys doing a double Northern Light suplex. The guy doesn't even weigh 200 pounds. These guys weigh like 170 pounds. He's lifting up like a combined weight of like 300 something pounds there. Like over his shoulders and bridging out. Like what? Like, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sitting here. This is great. I love what I'm watching. Look, guys, it's athletic. It's good these guys move around, both teams, but come on. You know, like this is not the good old days of wrestling. It's not, you know, like Tony Schiavone says, I don't watch this and fall in love with the sport again. I mean, he said that during the main event, which was more appropriate. But anyway, the Private Party ends up winning the match. And you know how it ends? Let me set the table a little bit here for you. So these big moves, big 450, wham! Meltzer driver, okay, they didn't really hit that. But, you know, they're doing like the big acai DDT double team thing off the top. All these moves, super kick and all the things. And, you know, I don't even know if he even ended up hitting a super kick at any point in the match. There's like one point in this match where he's like going for like 3 or 4 super kicks. And it's like, just enough. I know, super kick party, hey! Like, come on. But they put him up for the Meltzer driver, and then victory roll, and that's it. Just like the opening match, big vertical suplex off the top. You know, all the disaster kick, all these big moves getting hit, and then it ends with like a small package. Like, I get what they're trying to do there. It's like, oh, he trapped him, so he didn't really beat him with a move. But it's like, come on already. Like, to see all those big moves that don't end it. Oh, gotcha. Like, come on. I understand that one of the greatest matches of all time, the Macho Man and Steamboat, ended with a small package. But at what point do you know, like, do we say, like, it reaches the point of ridiculousness? Macho Man and Steamboat didn't do big moves off the top rope that like risked them breaking their necks. Alright, let's move on already. Chris Jericho cuts a promo and we're introduced to Inner Circle. So, we've got Jack Swagger there, Jack Hagar, Santana and Ortiz, you know, and Guevara is out there. So, and Jericho's like doing his best to put these guys over. And there's like one point where, like, credit to Jericho, he's saying about Sammy Guevara. Oh, look at him, you know, like, look how great he looks. I'm like, I'm looking, I don't really see much there. I am sorry, I don't see it. What, you know, I see people say, oh, the cockiness of Guevara really shows. Like, okay, you know, this is not Shawn Michaels' cockiness. This is not the cockiness of Chris Jericho. I don't see, to me, he looks like every other indie wrestler out there. I'm not seeing what the mass appeal of Guevara, like how this guy is deserving of being in, you know, the big heel group now, this big faction that they're coming out with. And like, I like the name Inner Circle because first of all, the first thing when I heard about it, I was looking at it on Instagram. First thing I'm thinking to myself is, bad boys, what you gonna do? Hey, when we come for you. You know, that was Inner Circle with the guys who sung Bad Boys, you know, the theme song to Cops. So every time I see Jericho coming out, you know, and they say Inner Circle, I'm going to be thinking of the guys who sung sung Bad Boys. So good promo and everything. You know, Jack Swagger did a good job. Hagar of standing there, you know, looking at the camera, menacing and everything. So, Darby Allen defeated Jimmy Havoc. I'm looking at this match and I'm just saying, like, sorry, these guys just don't look like much. Like, I know they've got the outfits. Darby's got the half face paint. Jimmy Havoc. Like, I seriously thought, like, who won the match that they had? It was at All Out. What, like, wasn't it Jimmy Havoc or was it Darby Allen? I don't know, but they're showing Firefest, and like you had Darby Allen going to a time limit draw with Cody Rhodes, which I wasn't even aware of that result because I didn't care about Firefest. And I'm just like, Cody Rhodes had such a problem with this guy. Like, again, I'm sorry, besides the guy painting half of his face, we have a case of the Finn Balor's here. I'm sorry. Once again, I have to ask the question. Look at this guy. You like, I don't get, there's people out there like Nick Aldis. I get he's in NWA now, but I'm saying that there's guys out there, like they couldn't make an offer to James Storm to join this group or something like that. I'm just saying, I don't know where they get these guys from. And I know everyone's going to say, oh, they've been on the indies for 10 years. I don't care. This is AEW. This is the big leagues. This is a TNT record-breaking premiere show. And I'm just saying, like, these guys, like, okay, nice face painted everything, but we've seen it before. And, like, Jimmy Havoc, like, okay, you know, the punk-style haircut. And you know, the glacier mask, you know, and I like, it's all been done before. If you guys don't, and like, I'm looking at like, okay, Jimmy Havoc, I get he's getting into the promo, I'll give him credit. He's like punching himself, but I am sorry, there hasn't been a person that I've been able to buy as a genuine crazy person probably since Al Snow and Mick Foley. And I've said that on a number of occasions. And I'm trying to think of some other people that acted psychotic. And I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head who's like really that great. You know, like they just, whether it's WWE or AEW, I mean, like, this is a character that Jimmy Havoc has obviously been doing for a while. I've heard of Jimmy Havoc. I believe the guy competed also in XPW. I'm going to take a guess and say that he was also in CZW as well. I don't know. I don't care. But if they're on my TV now and they're not really entertaining me, like, and this guy Darby Allen's going to, like, kill himself going backwards off the top rope. Like, that is, he's going to mess that up one day. He's going to end up breaking his neck. And first of all, the move doesn't even look good. He's just dropping backwards with, like, that, like, dude, that move doesn't even look cool, and it's stupid. It's like the stomp. They're going to break their ankles doing that dumb-looking move, and it looks like crap. Double stomp off the top, backwards senton, all looks like garbage, and it's overly dangerous for moves that don't even look that good. So Darby Allin wins, and this guy is getting a world title shot. How is this guy getting a world title shot before Pac is getting a world title shot? I'm looking at Darby Allin, and I'm looking at Pac. And okay, you guys don't want to talk about physique. Let's talk about ring skills. Let's talk about mic skills, huh? I think that Pac's got him beat in all those categories. So how are we tuning in next week? Like, first of all, I get it, you know, Darby Allin, you know, went to a time limit draw with Cody Rhodes. Who cares? Who honestly cares about that? Half the people, like I said, watching this show didn't even see that. So, like, we're just supposed to tune in like, hey, this guy paints his face half a skeleton, so he's deserving of a world. I know people are going to say I'm complaining, but, like, these are real, honest complaints here. Does this guy look like he's like he could possibly beat Jericho for a world title? Don't even answer that question, because the answer is emphatically no. Seeing him in the ring with Jericho, the comparison there is way off. And Jericho, this guy's going to be 50 pretty soon. He's in, like, the best shape of his life. And then you look at Darby Allin, this guy doesn't even look like he goes to the gym. He's a wrestler! Like, I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be a wrestler, like, can you have some pride in yourself? Like, why do you have to... You don't have a single piece of definition on your body? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, you're a wrestler. You wrestle with your shirt off. Why does half the wrestlers nowadays look like Sami Zayn? Even Sami Zayn got himself some abs. This guy can't. Like, I'm saying, I know people could say, "Oh, you're obsessed with the looks." Go. You know, like you're gonna like. So you're gonna say, "Oh, watch a bodybuilding competition." This is wrestling. It's like these guys are supposed to be athletes. Why don't they look like it? Britt Baker and Rio versus Brie Priestley and Sakura. Okay, so Brie Priestley comes out. This girl looks good. She kind of reminds me of Shelly Martinez when she was Ariel, doing the whole vampire gimmick. But then she like takes it all off, like takes off the robe and everything, and then she's like wearing plain attire. Like, can I ask a question here? Could they not hire Gangrel, have her walk down the ring? Like, you know what they're getting, guys. Like, they've got a whole bunch of legends back there. They've got the payroll. Get Gangrel, get her to come up through the fire with Vampire Warrior or whatever David Heath is calling himself nowadays. And, you know, it would be so over. First of all, you get the nostalgia pop. You'd get her over. But instead, you know, she comes out wearing a robe. And she looked good, by the way. Like I said, this girl, very attractive, looking good. Good idea. You know, we haven't had another vampire gimmick in a long time. We really haven't. So, like, okay, let's have it. They've got all these great, creepy gimmicks over in Impact. So, I don't know why we can't do that here on AEW. So, I don't know. This match was just super sloppy. And Sakura, who's like, I don't know who to blame here. If we should be blaming Britt Baker and Rio for taking the move. First of all, I'm going to just say something about Rio. She's not ready for the ring. They said that this girl's been training since she's 9. They probably should have started training her since she was 8. No, I'm kidding, guys. But she does not look good in the ring. First of all, she doesn't even look like a star. I'm like looking at her and like, she's just this like small girl. And I get it, but like, guys, everyone is an underdog. So I don't want to hear the underdog story. All these guys are small. There's no underdogs anymore in wrestling. So I'm not buying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanted to sell Sammy Guevara, for example, as an underdog, a babyface that gets beat down and stuff like that. No, but he's a heel. So it's like, I don't even know why Jericho will want somebody like that on his team. But anyway, we'll talk about that later in the main event. We'll talk more about Sammy. But honestly, like, she's not ready, Rio. She proved it last week, and she's proving it again here. Looks like an amateur. And I know, oh, bro, you don't know how to wrestle. No, but I'm watching it. I'm watching a show that's supposed to be top-notch, state-of-the-art, better than WWE. And I'm still seeing botch-filled garbage on my TV. Like, honestly, like, why am I supposed to stay tuned to this when it looks bad? And Sakura's been wrestling for like 23 years, and she trained this girl. Well, I could kind of see why, because she was sloppy as hell too. And like I said, I don't know if it was the sell job on the moves, but it looked like super sloppy. Like, she goes for this backbreaker, whoa, like just. Hey, whoa! Just like horrible looking, bad. And then Britt Baker like taps her out. Like, I thought she's supposed to be a legend. And you know, I like this though. Like, JR says, okay, well, Excalibur says, oh, she's a legend. Okay, I've heard of Sakura, to be honest here. No, not the Street Fighter character, but the girl in the ring. So JR wisely asks, why is she a legend? So he tells us she's won championships from all over the world. Wow! Great! A whole bunch of minor league promotions and stuff in Japan that we've never seen. Hey, you can YouTube it if you want to. Get out of here! I'm not watching that garbage. Like she's a legend. She sure didn't look like a legend. She looked like the furthest thing from a legend. I watched her in the ring, and I've like honestly, why did the Young Bucks look better to me? I'm just saying, like there's very talented people on this roster, but like, oh my god, the girl stuff so cringy. I mean, at least they're not going like, Stone Cold cringy, Lynch cringy. They haven't reached that level of cringe. Okay? But like, I'm sorry, but this show is very like in-ring heavy. And there's not good wrestling on it. I know people are going to say there's a lot of moves in these matches. Yeah, but first of all, the moves are very sloppy. There's too many of them. And there's way too many kickouts. Like, end these matches. Not every single match has to be 15 minutes long. Jon Moxley defeated Shawn Spears, and I thought that this was a good match. I will say that. Now, Shawn Spears is still doing that turn garbage. Get that out of here. Keep that stuff dead and buried. Jericho mentioned it earlier. The We the People thing for Jack Swagger, that did have potential back in the day, but like when you kind of think back on it, it wasn't that amazing. So like Jericho said, he said that was a bad creative decision. It's dead and buried. And exactly, like they should really try to distance themselves as much from WWE as possible. Stop doing the 10 thing. I don't care if he did that on the indies before he got to NXT, but get that out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to think about this guy underneath the table, eating Eggo waffles during, Breeze Dango segments anymore. Now, I will say this. He is definitely a better wrestler than these other Mamalukes on the show. Like, this was definitely better than the women's match. Guys, like I said it, I like Dean Ambrose. I like Jon Moxley. I am so happy that they finally got this guy a pair of tights. Oh my god, he's been wearing jeans and like just regular like street clothes for how many years? I mean, like when he wasn't wrestling like in the Shield with those black pants and like the full getup, he was wrestling in jeans. And when they weren't blue jeans, they were black jeans. And when they weren't black jeans, they were blue jeans. And then when he cut his hair, he stopped wearing a wife beater. Oh my god! So like, thank God they actually got the guy some nice tights. Some nice quarter tights there. They looked good on him. And I'm not tight obsessed, but I'm like, come on. Like, I'm not a big fan of wrestlers wrestling in jeans. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin took his jeans off and put on a pair of plain black tights. I mean, they are wrestlers wrestling in jeans all the time. Like, I'm sorry that's acceptable for Jeff Hardy. Those are not really jeans, but I get it. Like, they're pants. So could he at least maybe just wear a normal, like, they could have put him in a normal outfit for like 5 years. And they kept him wearing the same thing. So, like, I'm just gotta say, I gotta hand that to AEW, whoever made that decision. Maybe he wore that when he was wrestling in Japan. I don't know, but it was definitely a good decision. And I would keep to that. Have the guy wear the tights. I don't want to see him in jeans anymore. Unless he's, like, cutting a promo or something. They have Tully Blanchard coming out with Shawn Spears. I kind of like that presentation in a way. I mean, I would have liked to see maybe like DDP come out with him or something. Because, like, I don't know, Tully Blanchard. I am not saying that the guy is not a big-time legend. But I don't know. He's more of a tag team wrestler to me. So, like, I would like to see a big, a single star. But, Shawn Spears gets beat here, with the he's calling it something different. think it's called the Paradox something. I don't know. The Dirty Deeds. He beats him with the double arm DDT. It was a decent match. I liked the way how it flowed and everything. So, and then this, like, is really weird. So, and I also like Pac on commentary, by the way. This guy, I said it before, talented as hell. Great physique, great in-ring ability, great mic skills. They let him shine on the mic, and he also did some commentary back in WWE, and I was very impressed. I remember even reviewing that, like, on an episode of Raw. So I was happy to see him get some mic time here. I enjoyed it. But then, like, you have Kenny Omega comes out, and he's holding a broom that's, like, draped in barbed wire. And then he's got a baseball bat draped in barbed wire. He gives the barbed wire bat to Dean Ambrose. And I get that this is supposed to be a sign of respect. But the guy drove you head first through a glass table, you idiot. Let me show you a sign of hardcore respect. Like, what? And then not only that, but Pac comes from behind, hits Omega in the head with the chair. Omega falls down. He's prone. He's vulnerable. And Moxley is standing over him. And he's looking at him. And then he drops the bat and he walks away. What is it supposed to be? Like it's too easy or something like that? You attacked the guy during the match. You established yourself as a heel. But I don't know, like, is it because the crowd is cheering for him? Like, they're doing some weird tweener stuff? Or, like, a last-minute face turn? Like, why it doesn't even make any sense. And you know, like, the commentators are fine with this. I guess, like, you know, they don't want to question it too much because then it's going to make it look bad, you know, like, make the logic look even dumber than it already is. So I get that. But I'm just saying, like, you attacked the guy during the match. You showed no remorse. You drove the guy through a glass table. You know, glass could be all getting in his face and stuff like that. That should be the story. You know, he tried to, like, kill the guy, basically. And now you already got hit in the head. Oh, you ruined it for me. You ruined it, Pac. Like a good match. And, I like to see that Pac is being held in a high regard here. But this made no sense. No sense at all. Alright, so we're gonna go to the main event. And we've got Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. And they defeated Adam Page and Dustin Rhodes. And I really enjoyed this match. I mean, guys, watch Jericho in there. Watch Dustin Rhodes. These guys know how it's done. And, you know, they really put over, the commentators really put over, like, how much of veterans these guys are. And you really think back, like, these are guys that really know what they're doing. And they're good. They're good. These are legends. Not Sakura with her, whoa, backbreaker that she did. You know, like, oh, God, dreadful. But these are pros here. This is what I like to see, that you can still get this from AEW, this is not really possible in WWE. Like, I like that they recognize that that's main event quality. Now, Sammy Guevara, I don't get it. Also, he looked really out of place. Like, I already said that I've got a big problem with Adam Page with his positioning on the card. I get it. You know, they want to try to sell him as, like, they even said, like, Barry Windham, like a throwback, like, cowboy character, you know, Texas kind of guy. I get it, but there's just nothing there that I see. I haven't heard any mic skills or anything like that from him. The few times I have heard him, it's nothing special. He doesn't really look like anything special. He's an okay performer. I mean, he's a decent wrestler. I guess he's not bad. He did okay here too. But I just don't see it. Like I said, it's like they're having him just hang around. And, like, okay, like, so he didn't eat the pin here. So they put that on Dustin. So I guess they sort of tried to protect them, whatever. But I don't know. I see this guy really dropping off fast. I don't really see, like, who's an Adam Page fan, really. It's still a very weird decision why they made that match between Jericho and Adam Page, like, for the title. Like, just a weird decision. But then again, it makes as much sense as putting Darby Allen in there. We'll get to Darby in a little bit. So, first things first. Why is Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho coming out separately? Did they not just address that they are a team? And I get it, like, you know, they're so egotistical, they gotta have their own entrances. Like, guys, even like Rated RKO, for example, you know, like, even they came out together. I'm just saying, like, there's numerous examples, and like, sorry, but Sammy Guevara is not that big of a star. Get those guys, you know, a theme song for the team, or just use Judas Jericho's song, and just come out. Coming out separately, when you just established yourselves as a team, I didn't like the way how that looked. Now, I get it, it's a minor detail, but, like, come on, that's like WWE sloppiness, like overlooking minor details. Because when the minor details start to build, and there was a lot of mistakes made on this show, and I'm sure many fans and probably the company themselves don't view this as mistakes. They probably think like this is okay and everything, but I view it as mistakes. I don't think that it's good. So, you know, I just not a fan of that like type of thing. You know, like if you said they're a team, have them come out as a team. Anyway, but the match was good. Swagger comes in, hits a clothesline on Dustin, and Jericho hits that Judas elbow, which I'm still not a big fan of, but whatever. He pins him. It was a good way to close out the show for the match, but the thing is, it didn't end there. So, you know, I don't get this. So you had, who was it? Adam Page is like battling with Jack Hager. Like, he hits him in the face with a chair. I felt like, shouldn't Hager, who just debuted last week, shouldn't he be laying waste to everybody? I mean, he's a big, imposing guy, undefeated in MMA. And, like, the guy, Adam Page, who's gotten beaten, like, how many times now, is like, and his team lost here, too, going toe-to-toe with an MMA guy. Like, Swagger should be killing everybody. Like, it's too soon to have him go 50-50 with a guy. Now, I get... That's also another thing. He got hit in the face with a chair, which seemed like completely no-sold by Swagger. And I guess that was like on purpose, but what? I don't know. So then the confusing stuff happens. So I get that, like, you know, MJF, I get it. He came out, you know, with Cody at, what was it, at All Out. You know, he accompanied him to the ring for the match. And they're supposed to be friends. So he comes out like at total random. And like, we know that this guy is a heel and everything. And there's been moments when like Cody's established himself as a heel. But he's pretty much a face now because Jericho is such a big heel. So I know like Cody Rhodes said there's not going to be, you know, established faces and heels. But like, he's clearly a face. So, this guy last week, MJF, comes out, insults the crowd, does the classic heel gimmick thing. And, like, he does the thing like, oh, who am I going to hit? And then he, you know, he starts hitting the members of the inner circle. And then, you know, then he ends up getting beaten up. And so I'm like, so if he's such a jerk and such a heel, why is he helping the fan favorite? Like, wouldn't that have been a good opportunity to, like... I don't know. I'm just saying, like, this guy probably would have been a better decision than Sammy Guevara of all people. I don't know. But, like, Sammy Guevara just looks so out of place. Anyway, it doesn't end there. So everyone's getting beaten down. Jack Swagger is, like, lost. I don't know where he is. He ran off with Adam Page or something like that. and they're probably in the back brawling. I don't know like why they didn't go cut to that backstage, show us like a cool backlot brawl, something you don't see in WWE. But no, they're gone. They're out of there. They're nowhere to be found. Darby Allen comes going down the ring on a skateboard. Whoa, dude, surf's up, bro. Comes off and like flies at Jericho. He's beating Jericho up, and I'm just like, and then the faces turn the tables and they bail out. I'm like, really? Like Darby Allin saving the day? All right. Seems like a very negative review, but let's recap and see if it really was as bad as I was saying. Opening match, way too overbooked, way too much of the near fall nonsense. Good Jericho promo, entertaining stuff. He put over the team and everything. Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc was like whatever. Like the women's match was sloppy, dreadful stuff. Moxley's match with Shawn Spears was good. Even though the Omega stuff was just with Pac didn't make any sense. Like a sympathetic psychopath. Oh, I don't want to hurt you when you're down. Instead of getting on top of him and pounding that bat into his face. And the main event was good, but the end was just like, you know, you just established Inner Circle. You just established Jack Swagger, Jack Hagar as a threat. He looks like a threat. I believe in it. You know, he's got the MMA credibility. People are willing to probably forget the WWE nonsense because that was just bad booking on their part. Bad creative nonsense. And you're like already ruining it. Like, your first night as a team, as an official team with a name and everything, and you're already bailing out of the ring. Yeah, because some goof on a skateboard with his face painted comes flying at you. Who just looks like honestly, you could take anybody out of the audience, paint their face, there's your Darby Allin. I don't know if they'd be willing to do a senton off the back, but I'm sure a few of the goofballs out there who do backyard wrestling probably would. Well, there you go, guys. Like, better. I didn't watch Raw, but I'm sure it was better than seeing Braun Strowman with the boxing guy. You know, like, I'm sure it was better than that. Good commentary, some good matches. I liked seeing Jericho on the mic, a credible champion, and it was way better than a Hell in a Cell match ending with ref stoppage. God. Anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the review. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And guys, I will see you next time.